What's up, guys? My name is Witty, and we are back on Palworld today to talk about the best mods that I have found for Palworld. Now, I want to start this video out by explicitly stating that I'm not including mods in this list that I feel are too much of an exploit or game-breaking or min-maxing the fun out of the game, that kind of thing. So, as far as spawning items and being able to edit your pal's stats and instantly breed and that kind of thing, I feel like that ruins the fun of the game, so those types of mods will not be included in this list. However, I do think that all of the ones included in this list will improve your gameplay and possibly even make the game more fun. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into number one. Now, if you do happen to need help installing mods on Palworld, my most recent video goes over both the Steam version of the game as well as the Xbox version on PC. Unfortunately, we can't really install any mods on console just yet, so that's not something we can really cover. I recommend using Nexus mods or CurseForge, whichever one you prefer. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is Pal Analyzer, which is actually the mod I used in my example of how to install a mod for Palworld. The way Pal Analyzer works is you will find a wild pal and you are able to hold the Alt key and view that pal's stats. More importantly, its IVs, which are normally hidden from you. I guess, to be fair, before you catch the pal, all of this is hidden, but I digress. You're able to see that this Cremis has 47 for its hit points IV, 90 for its attack, and 59 for its defense. You are also able to see its active skills, which are its attacks, and if it had any passive skills, you would see those as well. Now, it's very important to mention that if you have not caught 5 or 10 of the pal that you're trying to check, you will see something like this. As you can see, I cannot view the IVs. I'm only able to view the attack, defense, and active skills, as well as the work capability, I suppose. But in order to unlock the IVs and that type of stuff, you need to actually capture 5 and consequently 10 of these pals, and that will unlock the IVs as well as the passive skills respectively. So the next mod that we're going to talk about is actually one that just simply removes the cooldown from the grappling gun. Now, this mod does have a bit of a weird installation compared to the other mods, generally speaking, so we'll go over it really quickly. Essentially, what you're going to do is download the zip file, and the folder within it will instead be installed via the Win64 mods folder. Once you've installed that, you're able to right-click the config.lua file in this folder here, and you can change the cooldown time to whatever you'd like. The default is 8 seconds, of course, but it is set to 0.1 when you download the zip file, so you shouldn't have to change it if you want instant grapples. So I don't feel like I need to show this, but essentially what this mod's going to do is allow you to infinitely grapple without any cooldown. It really is that simple. It is as easy as it sounds, and this is extremely useful when you're inside your base and you have way too many things on you from crafting, and you don't want to have to wobble around for a few seconds between grapples. On to the next mod we're going to talk about, and this is really just a quality of life thing. This thing has saved me so much time that I can't fathom how much time it's saved. But essentially what this is going to do, everyone knows when you're breeding and you're holding the F key down to hatch eggs, it would be so much better if you could just tap F one time and the egg was done, just like that. You didn't have to hold it for 10 seconds arbitrarily and wait. And that's all this mod's going to do. Now, this one is going to be installed the same way as the last one. You're going to drag the folder, as you can see right here, into your Win64 mods folder instead of the Logic mods folder, and then you start the game up. And so I know it's only been like 2 seconds for you guys, but it took me like 4 business days because I decided to actually breed a pal instead of just going to find an egg to show you what this looks like. But nevertheless, we will set our egg in, and as you can see, we simply tap F one time, and it's done, just like that. All you have to do is tap F and you instantly get your pal. Now the next mod that we're going to talk about is probably a lifesaver for some of you. It definitely was for me. It is called Stuck Pal Rescuer, and it does exactly what it sounds like. If you have a pal that's stuck climbing something it shouldn't be, or wound up underneath your base, or on top of a house, whatever the case may be, after a certain amount of time, this mod will actually refresh your pal at the pal station, and they will no longer be stuck. You don't have to do it yourself anymore. It will just bring them back automatically. Now, because of this, it might be a little difficult to show you what it looks like, but we're going to try. This mod is also installed the same way as the last couple have been in your Windows 64 mods folder. and let's try and show you what this mod can do. As you can see, our lovely deer friend managed to get stuck on the top of one of our streetlights, and now we just wait a few seconds, or however long it takes, and he should be transported somewhere in front of the PAL station. Right there it is. He unstuck himself automatically, and that is what this mod is about. He will now continue going about his day, catch up on his hunger, and get back to work. The next mod we're going to discuss, and one of my personal favorites, which should be no surprise, is the Infinite Wait in Camp mod. Now, essentially what this is going to do is give you an infinite weight capacity when you're inside your PAL station's perimeter. Simply put, you're not going to be walking like a turtle inside your base anymore. And if you're transferring ores and that kind of thing, not a problem anymore. Now, the how to install is a little confusing, but the general consensus is that you're going to install this in the Logic Mods folder under the packs folder, the same way we did in the video explaining how to install mods. Once you've done that, you're good to go. So we're going to boot the game up and show you guys how this works. All right, so as you can see, I am in my main base here, and under any normal circumstance, there is no way I would be able to carry this much stone. But as you can see, my weight limit at the bottom left is over 1 million. So it isn't quite infinite, but there's almost no way that I could fill all of this up in one inventory. So now we are free to walk around, sprint, roll, slide, everything we want to do in our base without having a weight limit. Now, if we step outside of our base lines, this is set to the default, which for me is 1000. And as you can see, I'm now a turtle again. The next mod we're going to talk about is called Duck's Progressive Bases. And essentially what this mod is going to do is allow you to have an extra base available every 2 base levels instead of every 5 or whatever it is by default. And so instead of only being able to have 3, we'll be able to have a total of 7 or 8, give or take. This is all quickly explained in the description tab here, as you can read if you would like to pause. And this also has a unique installation method where we're going to actually need another mods folder in the same place as our Logic Mods folder. And it's actually just this little tilde, the little squiggly key, whatever that is, and then the word mods, simply enough. And we drag the pack file in there and start the game as normal, and we're good to go. Now, as you may know, under normal circumstances, you are capped at a total of 3 bases. However, if we are to check here, you can see that I have 1 located where we are now, 1 located right here, 1 located here, and a 4th one right here. They are all 4 usable, just as the default 3 would be, and this works all the way up to however many you decide to have unlocked. Alright, last but definitely not least, this is the one that I wasn't sure if I wanted to include it on this list or not, because it does kind of walk the line with being a little exploity and overpowered. You could potentially ruin some of the fun of the game using this, but I decided to include it just in case, because it does kind of walk that line, like I said. This is called Duck's Useful Recipes, and essentially what this is going to do is add a whole bunch, and by that I mean hundreds, of extra recipes to different production objects, I guess you would call them, that you're able to place on the ground, such as the furnace or the kitchen. If we go through some of the pictures here, you can see that you're able to make ore with 15 stone, you're able to make sulfur with 20 stone, coal with 25, quartz with 30, etc., etc. Like I said, there are hundreds of them. You are more than welcome to have a look at the page to get an idea of what kind of additions come with this mod and decide from there if you want to add it. I will not be going in game and showing you what this looks like because I don't personally use it, but just to give you guys an idea of what is out there, this is something that I think walks the line perfectly and could be really fun for like a modded playthrough, but it's definitely not my style. And with that being said, I think that's where we're going to call this a video. There are hundreds of mods available both on Nexus Mods and CurseForge, so I do definitely recommend you check all of them out. There are probably dozens of them that you guys would enjoy and wouldn't be as reserved and not using like me, but I don't want to min-max the fun out, and I definitely don't want to get everything handed to me that quickly, so that's just not fun for me. If you enjoy that type of thing, more of a creative gameplay style, more power to you. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.